Okay then, so well, we're looking ahead now to round 1, heat 10, which is the final heat race of this opening round. So now after this, everybody will have seen every driver in action. So this is going to be a very tough one indeed. Heat 10, obviously, we had Carl Power down there, alluding to the fact that some of the Blue Star team drivers are out now. Blue Star Racing is a very, very strong, usually endurance-based team out of Belgium, and also some Dutch drivers as well. But they've got, would you believe, 4 representatives in this particular heat race. First of all is Logan Sunay. Now, Logan Sunay is definitely an absolute specialist at the long distance, but also excels indoor as well, and the shorter. He's been a finalist in the World Championships 2016, 2017 and 2018. So Logan Sunay, absolutely spectacular. 24 hours of Erpen, he was on the winning team, which of course was Blue Star entry in 2017, 2018, and he was 7th here in the BRKC last year. So Logan Sunay, definitely one of the favourites for this. Matthias Grooten, double world champion. He was the world champion in 2015 and way back as far as 2008 as well. The Belgian star, one of the top drivers in the world and one of the benchmarks over the years, Matthias Grooten. And also from the Blue Star Racing team, we've got a new driver to us, Mehdi El Gissa. And Mehdi El Gissa is a Belgian driver, and but he did well in the Agadir 24-hour race last year as part of that team, fairly new man on the scene. And the final Blue Star Racing one is one that I was commentating on when he won the Polish Junior Championship last year. Eliana de Vos. Eliana de Vos, a Dutch driver. He's the 4th member of the Blue Star Racing 1, Blue Star Racing 2 of the entries, and one of those, Logan Sunay, is Team 1 and the others are Team 2. Also in this race we've got Truman, who we've seen so many times in the BRKC. He's been winning races at BRKC and Club 100. Also Anwar Barul Smith and Hamlet, Mitch Powell and Jana Verbreken, a Belgian driver, and Andy Hewell. Now the times are coming in. It's Eliana de Vos who's fastest from Logan Sunay. Mehdi El Gissa is in third. Grooten's come through to 3rd place. Dan Truman in 4th. That's great. Verbreken, unknown to us so far, but he was the 2012 Belgian champion and also in kart champion out in last year. So former Belgian champion Verbreken has come into 4th place, but it is Anwar Barul Smith, one of the British hopes. Anwar Barul Smith is into pole position, beating out Eliana de Vos. Now Anwar, we haven't seen him for some time in the BRKC. It's been about 3 years since he's in, and he comes back into pole position. One of my teammates when I was racing with Team G in the World Championship in 2011 and 2012, Anwar Barul Smith, and he always is a force to be reckoned with. But even then, after some time out, he will be quite surprised, I think, to find himself on the pole position ahead of Eliana de Vos and Logan Sunay in 3rd place, with Jana Verbreken in 4th, Matthias Grooten, the former double world champion, down in 5th place, Dan Truman in 6th, Hamlet 7th, El Gissa in 8th, Andy Hewitt and Mitch Powell rounding him out in 9th and 10th. Now, just bringing them into line, and Anwar Barul Smith, what a performance to put himself into 1st, especially when you consider that's ahead of de Vos and Sunay. Now they're just organising those positions. I'll be getting this race underway. Now Anwar Barul Smith is quite a combative driver. He's really going to fight for that lead, I think, and it may well be that de Vos and Sunay, certainly de Vos and Sunay, will probably never even met Anwar before, and now they're going to meet him on track, but he will be well known to the likes of more experienced competitors like Matthias Grooten, the former world champion, double world champion. Okay, so Barul Smith has taken the flag. He's running away in the lead now. He's got Eliana de Vos going with him, and Logan Sunay is about a kart length behind that. In 4th place, of course, Verbreken, the former Belgian champion, as they come down the backstretch. But they round that sweeping bend. Here they are. Anwar Barul Smith turns in the lead. He's got Eliana de Vos right behind him, with Logan Sunay behind him. And here they come round the final turn, the hairpin, it's across the line, and it's Anwar Barul Smith in the lead, followed by Eliana de Vos and Logan Sunay. No real breakaway going on here, it's pretty much even. There's certainly 5 karts, 6, 7, well, they're all pretty much in contention, just the concertina effect as they're braking and accelerating for the corners, seeming to pull them, but certainly it is Anwar Barul Smith looking good in the lead there from Eliana de Vos. Eliana de Vos, the Polish junior champion from last year, and he's chasing down Burrell Smith for the lead. Logan Sune is going with him. They're starting to pile on the pressure to Anwar Burrell Smith. They're really not letting him get away now. Anwar Burrell Smith in one of the more dangerous areas, the snail section, where it's possible for people to make moves. When people make moves, if it comes off, it's normally decisive. If it doesn't come off, it costs everybody involved a whole load of time, and we see lots of position changes. Now, as they come down the backstretch, we're still looking at Anwar Burrell Smith, but look at this, Eliana de Vos is right with him. Logan Sune behind him, maybe a little bit of a gap there to Jan of Breaken with Matthias Grooten. Grooten can never be discounted. The former double world champion is there in 5th place, but only a fool would discount Matthias Grooten from any kind of result here. In the pits though, Kyle, with you, we've got an early pit visitor.
Yes, with number 9, that's Andy Hewitt into the pit. It's all looking very tight there, so another early stop, and let's see if he manages to marshal.
Now, Andy Hewitt was running near the tail when he came in, so we'll see whether he was running near the tail because he thinks he's quicker and it was just out of position, or whether he's going to stay pretty much down there. Meantime, of the leaders, nobody's coming in at all, and that's right the way down to 5th place. Still not coming in, no one in at all. Maybe they all feel they're holding a decent pace. Anwar Burrell Smith, we know he's fast. Eliana Voss, we know he's fast. And Logan Sune, the fact that he's with Blue Star Racing Team 1, says he's quick right on the title there alone. So here comes Anwar Burrell Smith. Eliana de Vos is who we're looking at. There's Burrell Smith with the lead down the backstretch, turning in. All following the normal racing line, which suggests no one's really getting racy. As soon as anyone starts getting racy, as soon as anyone feels threatened, you see them get defensive to the inside. And that really is a bit of an indicator of the feel of what's going on.
We have number 8, Joe Hamlet, into the pit as well, so let's see where he feeds out. Just against Andy Hewitt, comes in. I think he's going to be well ahead, so he feeds back into 9th.
Surprisingly well ahead, actually, Carl. Yeah. You know, he wasn't that far ahead in terms of position, but it does seem in terms of distance that he's quite far ahead of Hewitt there. They're running 9th and 10th, of course. The leaders are coming through. It's still Anwar Burrell Smith looking, well, I would never say comfortable in the situation, but he's certainly looking believable against Eliana de Vos, Logan Sune. Eliana de Vos, Logan Sune is certainly knew enough to not really know anything about Anwar Burrell Smith. This is not a racer they'll have competed with before, but certainly those behind, maybe Breaken, definitely Bruton, will have certainly tackled Anwar Burrell Smith and will know the quality of the British driver who's leading the way. Anwar Burrell Smith has been a multiple champion. He's a former world champion with the Formula Blue and a number of other categories over the years. Anwar is, again, as I say, making a real sort of comeback. He was the BRKC Oak Plate champion when it was first invented in 2012. He was a champion of Club 100 as well in 2015, and then kind of pulled away. He was on his sort of comeback to racing. He did actually manage to pull off a 2nd place overall in the Oak Plate, the Summer Championship, if you like. So Anwar Burrell Smith, plenty of credentials behind him to justify that lead. And in fact, what's now looking like an ever-increasing lead from Eliana de Vos. Anwar Burrell Smith, not only that, has set the new fastest lap of this race and is really on a bit of a mission here. You can see Eliana de Vos is falling away 2nd place, and it's not often we say that. There's a gap increasing there for 4th place as well, which is now Matthias Grooten, who's got past Jan of Breaken. Now, Kyle, further down the order there, down in the pit lane, if you look a bit further down the order, we've got Mehdi El Jisa, who's running around. There he is now in the 19 kart. Quite surprised that he's not a little bit further up the order.
Yeah, no, he's got some he's done some 24-hour racing, but yeah, it's part of Blue Star Racing Team 2, so we expected an awful lot more from him, but again, this is his first time here, and it just goes to show how tough this is. It really is hard to get your head around being an expert at this place, which makes some of the debutants that we've had winning on debut even more impressive.
Absolutely, because you were mentioning about the Blue Star Racing team earlier on, and he's obviously a member of that elite team. That really is an elite team. You do have to be invited for that one. It's not something you sort of rock up to and bundle your way in. They're known as arguably the best in Europe. He is racing with their 2nd team, if you like.
I wouldn't get invited, put it that way.
There's an awful lot who would be off that list. But Mehdi El Jisa, maybe he's in the position he's at the moment. We'll see how it improves as he goes along. Certainly, a lot of his results have come from the endurance race. So El Jisa, well, we'll see what he has to offer us these. Meantime, offering us a lot up at the front is Anwar Brule-Smith, increasing his lead. Now, we all know Anwar Brule-Smith from years ago, but I think quite a few, Kyle, will be surprised to see Anwar holding a lead like this, especially ahead of the likes of Polish junior champion De Vos and Logan Sune. It really is an epic performance. Even Mateusz Grooten is not able to make inroads on the leader there.
Yeah, indeed, and in fact Grooten is actually falling back from the lead group a little bit, but Anwar, it's not really a surprise. He's done a fair amount of practice, and every practice session I've seen, he has looked extremely fast. He was very fast yesterday, he was fast here last Sunday, so if people were not considering him as a serious top contender, then they were wrong. So personally, I'm not surprised, but maybe he's just flown in a bit under the radar. Like I said, he hasn't been here in recent years, so he's making a comeback with bang.
Well, it's certainly the comeback of the gods, because Anwar Brule-Smith in his opening BRKC heat race of 2020 is leading the way, and he's leading it pretty convincingly. As we said, even former double world champion Mateusz Grooten cannot make inroads. Anwar is the only one of that group to have run 31.4 on the lap timer. They're all running sort of 31.5. In fact, the third and fourth have dropped to 31.6 in the last lap, so they're all running a pretty similar pace, but Anwar is the only one to have to run a 31.4. They're all running 31.5s on that lap, so they're pretty much cancelling each other out, but Anwar is actually the fastest of that lot. Of course, we've got Verbreken, the former Belgian champion, who's there in 5th place, and he's sort of keeping the watching brief. He's managing to keep the same gap to Mateusz Grooten, albeit not actually challenged for position. Interesting, Kyle, we saw early pit visitors from those nearer the back, but they were people who were nearer the back probably anyway. We've not really got a Conor Marsh in this race, or a Shepherd, have we?
No, we haven't. They've tried, and they've come out in their own battle, and they've actually come out quite spread out. So the best battles looking like
in the pits.
Oh, yep, with the 10. That is, I can't see my notes. Mitch Powell. That is Mitch Powell out of number 10. So let's going to see if he joins in and see where he comes out from those aforementioned earlier pitters. So he comes out ahead of Andy Hewitt, actually. So yeah, that's not worked out too badly for them. But I think this race is going to be a bit of a slow burner. It's incredibly tense at the front. Sune and De Vos are not letting Anwar Brule-Smith escape with this. They're keeping him under that annoying sort of 1 second pressure. So he's under, so anything can happen yet.
And those people who've been following the championship so far through Motorsport TV and obviously on the BRKC live stream, we've seen quite tense races up at the front. This time, of course, we've got a fairly even gap between all the competitors. It's not like anyone's entirely on the tail. Yes, they're close, but they're not kind of pushing each other. I think that really is why we're not seeing any pit visitors. Nobody's sort of felt that they'd be better off running on their own. No one's actually, feeling restricted in any sense. And that's probably why we're not seeing any pit stops from the front. They're all sort of fairly even, and a bit of an even gap between them. Interestingly, all the pit stops have come from the tail, and those people have stayed at the tail. The blue flag's been out. They've had to wave a few people through. A little bit of a look further down the order, just worthy of mention. Yes, someone doing a great job of staying out of the way.
And here we go. We've got Sune in the pits.
Oh, yes.
Sune in the pits. He's seen the back markers, and he thinks this is his time to try and capitalise on that, hoping that the two in front of him, Brule-Smith and De Vos, are going to get held up in the back markers. So that's quite a clever move from Sune there.
Yeah, that could be inspired, and that, of course, is partly why he's an endurance expert and partly why he's part of the Blue Star Racing team. It's thinking like that Sune needs to put into place to get the results that we know he does get. And it's going to be interesting when the others do come in the pits, whether that will have gained him anything. Of course, Anwar Brule-Smith is out in the front now.
Yeah, we've got 14.
There was a bit of a wave there as well.
Yep, Mateusz Grooten is straight in. So Mateusz Grooten, former world champion, is in. And he comes out. Oh, it's going to be very close to Sune. Oh, he's almost jumped Sune.
He has, and expect De Vos in, because I saw a wave from De Vos, so it wouldn't be a surprise if Eliana De Vos comes in this time around. But as you said, Mateusz Grooten, he almost leapfrogged Sune. He's lost between Sune, but crucially, he's a lot closer to Sune than he was. Now, is De Vos in this time?
No, he's not. It's gone past.
There was a wave. I was wondering if they were going to bring him in right after.
Verbreken is in. Verbreken is in.
Yeah.
Yep, so this is going to be interesting. So we've seen some unusual gains in the pits. There's been quite a lot of disparity in the pit stops. This is going to be quite close. I think he's going to come out behind these two.
Yeah, and what would have been interesting there, Verbreken would have seen that wave from De Vos to his team on the previous lap. and theoretically has thought, okay, well, if he doesn't come in, I will, and therefore he has. Now there's Anwar Brule-Smith with the lead. Eliana de Vos has dropped further and further back. Look at that, that's the biggest lead Brule-Smith has had so far.
Vos could be jumped
behind. Here comes Dan Truman, I think. Yes, that's right, that's Dan Truman. Mehdi El Ghisa. Now, Mehdi El Ghisa, one of the Blue Star drivers, is all over the back of Truman, but so far has been unable to make any impact on him, if you like. And they are running third and fourth at the moment. So that's Dan Truman versus Mehdi El Ghisa, is probably the toughest individual combat at the moment in this race, as Anwar Brule-Smith puts another lap in. He's got a fairly comfortable lead, as comfortable as possible, from Eliana de Vos. And then, of course, it's Truman, Ghisa. Here they come now. Ghisa's coming in the pits.
Yep.
Or is it Truman? No, it's Truman.
No, it's Truman. It's number 15. It's Dan Truman's in the pits. Good first light. Very good. It was going to come out. That is number 8. That's Joe Hamlet coming round. I think Truman's going to come out. Oh, just ahead of him. That's going to be tight by the time they get to the hairpin.
Yes, it is. And Truman is definitely fighting a rear guard. Actually, he took the wide line, but he's okay. He's made it. Now, there's... it looked like Logan Sune waving. He's been passed by Matthijs Grooten. It looks like Grooten, I think. Yes, it is. Grooten has passed Logan Sune. So I think that's Sune was sort of acknowledging we'll not fight each other.
No.
They're going to try and pull up, because that's really the only hope they've got to tackle Brule-Smith. Now, let's have a look at Eliana de Vos. He, of course, is part of that same team as them, but there's a pecking order in these organisations, yeah?
Absolutely.
And if anyone's going to be up near the front of any sort of pecking order in any organisation, it's going to be the likes of Grooten and Sune. Maybe Sune and Grooten are going to be holding station at the moment. De Vos is arguably second them on after pit stops, but it's Brule-Smith that they want. He's the race leader. He's the one they're really after. And their only hope is not to fight each other, and they know it. Now, meantime, we saw Dan Truman come into the pits. He had been passed, actually, by Mehdi El Ghisa, who we were thinking might need to get a bit of a tickle on. He has got a tickle on. Mehdi El Ghisa has moved up to third place. He's the one following Eliana de Vos, although it is by the length of the pit stop. So de Vos did pit out of second place. They would come out front.
And we've got number 19. We've got El Ghisa is in the pits now. So Ghisa's in the pits now. It looks like he's doing very well. Yeah, that's a very tidy stop, and he's going to come out just ahead of number 15, which is
Truman.
Truman, yes, Truman, of course.
Yeah, and Mehdi El Ghisa needed to do that because, of course, he'd been fighting with Dan Truman. They're really pushing and shoving there, but Mehdi El Ghisa is the one who's actually made it work. He passed Truman on merit, but needed to not lose the place back when they came out of the pits, because Truman was coming in fast. He was coming in fast with Joe Hamlet by the looks of it, and of course that would have meant he'd have lost 2 places, not just 1. So Mehdi El Ghisa has done exactly what he needed to do to go tumbling down the order, but it is close. They cross the line. We're on screen now. There's El Ghisa, there's Truman, and there is Hamlet. So very, very tight with those lot. They're quite safely ahead of Mitch Powell and Andy Hewitt, but really the race of the actual combat race, if you like, is El Ghisa, and combat it is, because Dan Truman has given him a bit of a nudge a couple of times already on the previous lap, and he's got Joe Hamlet behind him, so Truman isn't really doing it to be nasty. He's actually kind of under pressure not to lose any time himself, because Hamlet is on his case too. So it's still Brule-Smith. Now, Brule-Smith isn't going to come in. We'll be watching them. There they are. There's El Ghisa. This is the actual combat race. I'll keep you up to speed with what's happening, viewers, as well, with the other part. It is still Brule-Smith from the second half ahead of Eliana de Vos as we watch Mehdi El Ghisa, part of the Blue Star Racing team there, from Dan Truman and Joe Hamlet. They're coming onto the backstretch. There they are down the backstretch. Now, are there going to be any moves? No, they're cancelling each other out for speed, really, as they turn in. There is that's Anwar Brule-Smith, the race leader. There's Eliana de Vos in second place. Down the backstretch there, it's Brule-Smith coming around.
De Vos is keeping Brule-Smith honest here.
Very honest. 1.5 seconds is what he's held him to. And to be fair, Carl, there's just no way that Brule-Smith can really extend that, is there?
No, he's clearly trying as hard as he can, and he just cannot shake him off. It's like one of those annoying colds you just cannot shake off. No matter how hard you try, he is not going away. So Brule-Smith, even though he looks very calm in there, still must be feeling a tiny bit of pressure.
Now, those who enjoy their stats, who are watching on TV, need to keep an eye on that little caption with the positions in the race, because we've got Matthijs Grooten, who is 14.2 seconds behind first place Anwar Smith, with Logan Sune, who's obviously right on his tail. Now, the interesting thing is, because we're sort of anticipating 10 seconds to be lost in a pit stop that Burrell Smith and Eliana Vos have yet to make, that still would put them first and second ahead of double world champion Matthias Grooten and Logan Sune. So Grooten and Sune, remember again, Carl, we were saying how Sune had been indicating to Grooten that, you know, he's not going to race him, let's go for it. They've got to bring that time down if they're going to be in contention for the win.
Yeah. I think Sune may have even let Grooten pass. I think Grooten turned round and gave, let's go forward, and Sune nodded and gave him the thumbs up. But they're not making the inroads that they need to, and now they're coming up on two back markers that haven't pitted. Well, they are coming on up. They are a lap down, so they should but this is going to really stifle their process.
That's Mitch Powell leading Andy Hewitt there, isn't it? And they're getting the blue flag. In fact, Hewitt does get out of the way. He does get out of the way. He's allowed Grooten through, and Sune's through as well.
The boss is in. The boss is in. He's come in. He was quite cautious on that first one. That wasn't the fastest I've seen. The second one, that was pretty good. Where's he going to come out? He's going to come out comfortably ahead of the Grooten battle.
And that was crucial, because Grooten still has a back marker. I think he's still got Mitch Powell in front of him. And now Grooten moves ahead of Powell. He can see Elliot Rodos, and Sune's gone through as well. Again, it's a problem for Jan van Breken, who is the one in fifth place. He's kind of coming out the worst end of this stick, but certainly it is good for Matthias Grooten, but he's just not close enough. Elliot Rodos was comfortably away. Anwar Burrell Smith has actually got a bit of a 2-second advantage now. Yes. So somewhere De Vos did lose a bit of time, half a second. But it does make Anwar Burrell Smith's pit stops a lot easier and a lot more relaxed, and still come out of the win. There he is in picture. He's going around that turn at the end of the main straight. Will he pit this time?
He's coming in now, so he left it one extra lap, has decided to pit. Maybe he hadn't noticed that the boss had pitted, so he's got plenty of time. He's taking it nice and calmly. No need to push your luck here. And yeah, he's going to come out comfortably in lead. In fact, it looks like he's actually extended his lead quite a lot in that.
Yes, that's looking really comfortable there. That was Anwar Burrell Smith you saw pitting there. He's got the lead, and he's kept the lead, and there's about a minute and a half to go. He's still being followed by Eliana De Vos, who in turn is still being followed by Matthias Grooten and Logan Sune, the two Blue Star drivers. Jan van Breken, the Belgian champion, is fifth. Mehdi El Gisa is in sixth place in his battle with Dan Truman and Joe Hamlet. And there, of course, Mitch Powell and Andy Hewitt are the ones who are a lap down now on the leaders. And through across the finish line, we're looking at Anwar Burrell Smith, followed by Eliana De Vos. And there is the Grooten and Sune third place. I would say fight, but I think they're actually going to stay in position there by the looks of it. Logan Sune is just content to sit there behind Matthias Grooten, the double world champion. There's less than a minute to go, so probably about 2 laps now for Anwar Burrell Smith. He's probably going to run through one more time after this. And there is Dan Truman. Let's have a look at this, because there's a bit of a gap opening there. Mehdi El Gisa has moved not only away from Dan Truman, but opening up a bit of a gap. And Truman is under serious pressure from Joe Hamlet. Look at Joe Hamlet there. He's all over the back of Truman. And as they're down the back stretch, whoa, look at Truman there trying to block him out. Really lent on Hamlet there. Hamlet going to love the watching that one back on YouTube. So as they come through, surely this is going to be the final lap now. We've got Anwar Burrell Smith with less than 20 seconds to go. Anwar Burrell Smith is down the backstretch. He's round the finish. They bring out the checker flag. It's going to be a return to victory for Anwar Burrell Smith. Anwar Burrell Smith wins from Eliana De Vos, Matthias Grooten and Logan Sune. Jan van Breken there comes through in fifth place. And across the line there it's Powell and Hewitt. And here comes Mehdi El Gisa. Mehdi El Gisa is going to come through and take that sixth place now from Dan Truman and Joe Hamlet to round out the finishes there. The other two, of course, a lap down, they've already finished and completed. So a good win there for Anwar Burrell Smith. His return to the BRKC has been very successful. He's done one race and one win, and that's exactly what he's been hoping for against some serious opposition. Carl Power, over to you in the pit lane.
Yep, I'm just trying to get some of the drivers coming in there. There's third place Matthias Grooten. Yep, I've got a nod from the top three there, so I'll try and get the top three when they get out and get weighed. I believe that was heat number 10, wasn't it? So it is now into we're now into the alternate track layout. So there'll be a bit of a break after this one. So there's not a big queue of drivers waiting to get in, so it's a bit quieter than usual down here. It's quite nice. Yep, so Anwar's just going to get weighed up, and I'm going to try and get him to come and have a word. It's compulsory for all the drivers. As soon as they get out, they weigh the top 3 every time.
Last lap was BRKC lap.
Oh, wow. Well, I've had Bradley Philpott just informed me that Matthias Gruten, he's here now. I will grab him. That his last lap was a BRKC lap record. Hey, so I'm just down here with Matthias Gruten. A strong 3rd place there and a BRKC lap record on the last lap.
Yeah, I always knew that the ultimate pace was there, but frankly, I'm struggling a bit in qualifying, and I knew that would be the case. I also didn't do any practice when it was really grippy like now, so a little mistake and 5th. And I knew in the race I could sort of keep up pace with the guys in front, but if you start from a couple of seconds back, it's really hard. And defending against my teammate for a lot of the race. And the last lap I had like a 2-meter gap and I went for it, and yeah.
Nice. Did he let you through? I saw there was some hand signalling and waving there. Did he let you through, or was it a movie put on him? I missed it personally.
No, he didn't let me through. I came out of the pits like sort of 50% behind, and then through the 3 right corners I think we touched in every single one. But then obviously at the inside for the braking zone. And yeah, that's it.
Oh, good. Well done, and look forward to you racing later on in the championship.
Yeah, thank you.
Just got Anwar Burrell-Smith coming in now. So, congratulations, Anwar, the comeback king. Yeah, how was that? It looked all a bit boring for you out the front there. Was it boring from where you were sat?
You know what it's like, Carl. You know, it's never boring, is it, when you're out there, especially when you're winning. But it was a tough race because obviously sticking on pole was great, and I had a bit of an advantage. But I think that was mainly just nailing the lap as opposed to everyone else, because the first couple of laps it was really difficult to get away. So I just sort of tried to concentrate on just being consistent, try not to panic, and just keep doing my lines, hitting my apexes, and the gap started to eke out. And I think the turning point actually was overtaking one of the back markers at the right time, and he sort of got in the way of everyone else, and that got me my comfortable gap at the end. So after that, yeah, it was plain sailing. But one race at a time. That's the main thing. Take one race at a time.
It's superb. All that great pace we've been seeing recently has just translated to a race win. You must be very happy, but it must be quite frustrating if you're pushing so hard and he could not shake De Vos. He's constantly like 1.5, 2 seconds back, like where you're like, come on, man. Yeah.
It was more frustrating actually, because every lap on the dashboard I could see I was doing a really good lap, and it was flashing up like best, like personal best, fastest lap. And I was looking behind and he was still there, and I was like, I don't know, like he must be only 100th off me or something. But it was a good race, and yeah, I think as you say, like a lot of testing's paid off, in that sense. But there's a long way to go, and yeah, anything could happen. So as I say, one race at a time.
Awesome, and for your amazing efforts, you have a medal.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
No problem. Well done, mate. So I'm just going to get second place finishing here, Eliano De Vos.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my second place.
Eliano De Vos, brilliant second place there, very strong, great start. How did you feel about that?
I feel very, very good about it. It's my first year here, and the pace was very good. So I'm very happy with this result.
There's been a lot of strong debutants here, a lot of strong people on the first time. So it's incredibly impressive for you guys to turn up and be so fast immediately. Do you have a set routine that you run through to learn a new track?
No, not really. I look the whole time to the track to see the other people, what they do, and I can try the things, and that make me very fast on the track then also.
Oh, brilliant. So you've got to have really strong confidence to get into the semi-finals.
Yes, I hope so.
Brilliant, well done. Very, very well done. Cheers. So that concludes our heats for the first round. The marshals and the track workers are going to go and change the track. Configuration now, and then the first time any of the drivers will see it is when they hit their Super Pole laps.
Okay, then, well, after an absolutely incredible opening round of heat races in the British Rental Kart Championship, we're going to take a little break and we'll be back very soon. What they're doing is they're moving to the alternate track layout. It's a little change just to spice things up for the second round of heat races. Stay with us. We'll be back as soon as possible. Thank you.